Hey there you guys, welcome back. Today we're going to look at this Ming Arailia. It's been a plant that I've been growing for the last couple of years. I think I've had this one for about 3 years. It started off about, I'm going to say about a foot tall, not very tall. I had it in the center of this mixed basket that I made, or a mixed planter that I made. I originally purchased it thinking that it would like moist conditions, because when you look at the ferny leaves you think, oh, it's delicate. That's not the case. It actually prefers to be on the dry side. This was a bird's nest fern, this was a holly fern, and as you could probably see, they're not doing too well down there. In fact, they're pretty well dead. I have a philodendron in the back. It's doing okay. Philodendron are tough as nails, so that will survive. With this plant, you want to make sure that it gets a nice indirect sunny location. It will tolerate some shade. In fact, the low end of the light spectrum that it will survive in is if you're able to read a book without having to turn on a lamp in the room. That should be bright enough to grow this plant. Hard to describe, but yeah, if you're in a room and you can read the newspaper or magazine easily, then this will grow well in that light level. It'll do well in a slightly higher light level too, but just don't put it in a direct afternoon sun, midday sun. It will not like that. It will likely crisp up and die. It definitely likes a shadier spot. It seems to like a good amount of humidity. In my house, it's between 50 and 70% humidity. When the air conditioner is not running, it's about 70% humidity. But lately, it's been very, very warm here, so the air conditioner has been running very, very much, and it's down to about 50 to 58% humidity. And I've just noticed that the leaves have been yellowing on this. I just shook some off not long ago, and after they shake off, it looks okay, but they also don't like a draft. So if you do have it near a heating vent or whatever, maybe you can close that heating vent or direct that breeze or draft elsewhere. What else can I say about this? It can be a very easy plant if you don't treat it with a lot of care. You would think that a plant of this nature would like a lot of love, but I find that it thrives more on neglect. When I try to pay attention to it, I water it and keep it evenly moist, not soaking wet, but just damp, and it starts yellowing. So what I do is I water it really, really thoroughly, and I actually take it to the kitchen sink, and I take the spray thing for the sink, and I spray over it, and I leave it. I come back to it 10 minutes later, spray it again, leave it, come back to it again, spray it again, let it drain, and then it's good for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks until it dries right out again, and then go through the same process again. It really does respond better if it's on the dry side. So just keep that in mind. So it likes more drier conditions, so I'm going to take this and put it with some, instead of using ferns, I'm going to take some things like, you could probably even put some cactus in the bottom of this, who knows. Some peperomia, they do well with the moist and the dry. They actually like to be on the drier side and then watered well, just like this does. So I'm going to end up transplanting this and putting some watermelon peperomia in there because they have a lot of interest. I have some other types of peperomia and pilia that will tolerate that same condition as this seems to like. But it's been a big trial and error for me, and a lot of people are coming to my channel and seeing it in the background of some of my videos and saying, "Oh my goodness, you're able to grow that? That you must have a really green thumb." Actually, it's entirely the opposite. If I had a green thumb, I would definitely kill this. Well, I do have a green thumb, but I also have a very neglectful thumb, and it's a neglectful thumb that's keeping this one alive. I've just got to remember to forget it and let it do its thing. I actually have a moisture meter. This was when I was trying to keep it evenly moist because I thought that it was drying out too much and that was causing the yellowing of the leaves. But then I found that If it stayed in the green zone, with the moisture meter, that the leaves were dropping a lot faster. The second I started leaving it in the drier area, I would start getting new growth, and it was doing really, really well. So anyway, this is just a little touch on Ming Arailia. Easy plant to care for if you show it a little bit of neglect and a very little bit of love. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if you're able to grow these Ming Arailias. I know that they're really popular in the bonsai world, but some people have them as houseplants too. So yeah, I'd love to see photos of yours. I know that they can get really, really big and beautiful, and big trunks. Anyway, happy growing, everyone.